Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? Well, this week we're celebrating National Book Lovers Day, which is coming up on August 9th. And my special guest is Carol Orange, who is an art expert and an author, and she'll be talking about her latest book, and we'll also talk about ways to celebrate National Book Lovers Day. And I'll be sharing an excerpt from my new book, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking Diary Seasons. So stay with me. So coming up is National Book Lovers Day, and as mentioned, I wanted to share with you some ways that I've heard from listeners on how they're going to share National Book Lovers Day, and maybe you can also share with us if you have any other ideas, hashtag the Maria Liberati Show, and share with us any other ways that you're celebrating National Book Lovers Day. So you can organize a book exchange, host a book club, go to the library, treat yourself to a new book, plan a National Book Lovers Party, or read to children. So that is about 6 different ways you can celebrate National Book Lovers Day. And as mentioned, if you have any other ideas, because it's coming up on August 9th, please share with us, hashtag it the Maria Liberati Show, and place on social media or on the website for the MariaLiberatiShow.com. And as promised, in honor of National Book Lovers Day, here is another excerpt from my latest book, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking Diaries, and it's subtitled Seasons because each chapter represents a season, and each chapter has diary entries from that season. And as I've always mentioned, this book is from the diaries that I kept while I was living in Italy, creating the Basic Art of Italian Cooking books and my TV series. So the excerpt that I'm reading is in the summer chapter, and it's titled My Life in Food, Tuscan Staycation Picnic. The Mona Lisa, a bottle of Chianti, and day-old bread. My idea of the perfect picnic in Tuscany, that is. Picnic season is here, and no one does it better than the Tuscans. From an elegant yet simple buffet table in the rustic style, who can refute that they've turned simplicity into an art and a science? I feel like I'm the only person on earth who isn't in a frenzy hurrying to barbecue now that Memorial Day and 4th of July has come and gone. Is it some kind of Pavlovian dog signal that sets off once summer arrives? Time to take out hot dogs and hamburgers. Break out the barbecue. It's the same old boring fare. Maybe my differing take on Memorial Day comes from living a transatlantic lifestyle. Caught between Italy and the United States, Tuscany is never far from my heart or mind, even if I'm not always there in body. The Tuscans seem to have invented the very idea of the casual yet elegant, simple yet sophisticated picnic. Grilling is part of summer fare, but where else could day-old bread be so chic? Used as a panzanella salad, it's an uber-tasty treat along with Tuscan olive oil, fresh tomatoes, fresh basil, and paired with a glass of Chianti. But you don't need to go to Tuscany to eat Tuscan. Try a Tuscan staycation at home and create the same relaxed feeling. Try a rustic vase with sunflowers, brightly colored plates. Avoid a tablecloth to simplify your setting and hope for a really sunny day. Make this a summer to picnic in style. To quote Leonardo da Vinci, that famous Tuscan who practically invented the Tuscan lifestyle, simplicity is an art. So here's my recipe for a Tuscan panzanella salad to complete your Tuscan staycation. 12 slices of day-old crusty bread, 4 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, 1 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and it should be extra virgin cold press, a half a pound of red ripe tomatoes, 1 red onion, 1 fresh cucumber, 1 handful of basil leaves, and a pinch of salt. And don't forget some freshly ground black pepper. Slice the bread into 12 slices. Place the bread in a bowl with a 1/4 cup of water and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Leave for 3 minutes. Remove and squeeze the water out from the bread. Place the wet bread slices on the bottom of the salad bowl. Top the bread with tomato slices, sliced cucumber, sliced red onion. Drizzle in the olive oil, the vinegar, pinch of salt, freshly grated black pepper, and toss gently. And the trick for this Tuscan panzanella salad is that the bread has to be really crusty, day-old bread so that it won't get overly soggy when you soak it in the water and vinegar. The other recipe to add to your Tuscan staycation is grilled porcini mushrooms. So you're going to need 8 large porcini mushroom caps, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 handful of fresh parsley, 4 tablespoons of extra virgin cold pressed olive oil, salt and freshly ground black pepper to taste. Clean the mushroom caps gently with a wet paper towel. Do not wash them underwater, but clean them delicately with a damp paper towel. Chop the fresh parsley and garlic together. Place the mushroom caps, olive oil, chopped parsley, garlic, salt, and pepper to taste to marinate in a bowl for about 3 minutes. Turn over and marinate for another 3 minutes. Place on a hot grill for about 10 minutes, about 5 minutes on each side or until tender, and serve immediately with your panzanella salad. Okay, so, we're getting ready for, I just love books. I don't know how my listeners feel. I'm hoping everybody loves books. Books are so, it's a great way to transport you anywhere, learn about anything. And we're getting ready for August 9th is actually National Book Lovers Day. And I have on, today we have on Carol Orange, who is the author of such an incredible book. It is just so interesting, especially for art lovers, but really for anyone. Such an interesting and incredible story. It's called A Discerning Eye, but Carol has an interesting background herself in the art world. She's an expert. So I'm going to welcome you, Carol Orange, to my show, to the Maria Liberati Show. And Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Maria, for having me on. Yes, my background is in both art history and in English. I studied at Cornell University, and I fell in love with the art world when I was there taking art history courses. After I graduated, I was really fortunate. I had this great job in London working on a book of Spanish art with a man named Xavier de Salas. He was then the attaché at the embassy in London, the Spanish embassy. He later became the director of the Prado Museum. So imagine how lucky I was, Senor de Salas. So I learned so much about art history from him. And I then had a gallery in Boston for many years. So when the robbery happened at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, which is such a gem of a museum, I mean, it was my favorite place to go to when I lived in Boston for 30 years. So I thought about who could have done such an absolutely horrible thing, because it deprives the people of 13 magnificent works of art. One of them is Vermeer's The Concert, and there are only 36 Vermeers in the world.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to tell our listeners, in case they don't know, a discerning eye is about this unbelievable theft of these 13 works of art. I didn't really mention that. So I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes, Vermeer was one of them. Yes.
Yes. So Vermeer was probably the jewel of the 13 that were stolen, because it's so rare. It's also such a gorgeous painting.
Wow.
And Isabella Gardner bought it at an auction in Paris for $6,000 at the time. Vermeer actually was not well known at that time, but she fell in love with the painting. And of course, it's absolutely priceless right now. So I, as an art dealer, was so angry, and also as a Boston resident about this. And I started putting together some thoughts about what might have happened, because the thieves were in the museum for 81 minutes, which is unheard of. Usually in art theft, thieves rush in and grab what's closest to the door, but that didn't happen at the Gardner. They tied up the night guards, who were Berkeley music students, and they had the run of the place for 81 minutes, and they could have stole anything, but they chose these 13 art objects, and I believe there was a mastermind. The thieves were just henchmen for the mastermind, and they did a pretty terrible job. They cut the paintings out of the frames.
My gosh.
They just sort of grabbed things, but I think they were working from a laundry list. So my protagonist is an art dealer, and she analyzes all 13 art objects, and she finds an underlying theme, which is the tension between dark and light. And from that, she puts together a psychological profile of the thief. She says that the thief is, the light side is very confident, very wonderful, and the dark side is someone who is really greedy and believes that they deserve whatever they can grab hold of. And so the tension in the paintings is reflected in the personality of the thief. In the novel, she comes into contact with the FBI. She's introduced to them, and they are very taken with her analysis and her profiling. And in real life, the FBI actually never analyzed the 13 stolen objects. It's like, how could the thieves have stolen 3 Degas drawings when right next to them was a priceless drawing by Michelangelo?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's like, they did steal, the Vermeer, which is priceless, and they stole some Rembrandt.